We begin with some breaking news from Ukraine. U.S. President Joe Biden has arrived in the Ukrainian capital, Kyiv, on what is his first visit to Ukraine since Russia launched its invasion a year ago this week. Biden was scheduled to make a visit to neighboring Poland to mark the anniversary. But this unannounced visit to Kyiv will underscore Washington's unity with Europe and NATO against Russia's aggression. Well, DW's Aya Ibrahim is standing by in Kyiv for us for the latest on all of this. So, Aya, we know that the city center there has been blocked. What more can you tell us?
Well, all morning today, Mariana, there had been rumors around Kyiv that some high-ranking official will be coming to visit President Zelensky. We had thought maybe it would be Vice President Harris, but then it turned out to be, U.S. President Biden himself. And we have seen images of him and President Zelensky walking through the city. And just to give you an idea of how extraordinary this is, we are actually in the middle of an air raid right now, an air raid that stretches for the whole country. So actually residents are advised to be in shelters right now to hide because there is a threat of missiles or drones striking targets within the city. But here you have it, the President of the United States in the Ukrainian capital walking outside. I mean, of course, we can expect that President Biden will be here to confirm the military support to Ukraine, to further, solidify the United States' commitment to helping Ukraine. But it's really the symbolism of this trip and his arrival at this moment. I mean, we are just a few days away from the anniversary of this war. So it's a pretty extraordinary moment, I would say.
Well, of course, this timing is very significant that Biden has come now right before this one-year anniversary. I should mention, Aya, as you're speaking to us, we are watching some footage that has been posted on social media of Biden walking through what we believe to be Biden walking through the streets of Kyiv. I imagine there must be extraordinary security measures in place. You mentioned there's an air raid siren going on. What can you tell us about the types of security measures that Ukrainian officials must have been preparing ahead of Biden's visit?
Well, we do know that, since yesterday we have heard that certain streets within the city center will have been blocked, that cellular networks, will have been disabled in certain parts of the city. But as one would expect, security officials aren't necessarily open about these details because they are also related to the security of the visitor who is going to, who will be here. And as you mentioned, we're seeing reports, videos on social media, journalists posting footage, but we don't really have official confirmation yet. And that is completely normal, given just how given the high security sensitivity of a visit like this. A confirmation will usually come a little bit later in the visit after, and sometimes even after it has concluded.
And just how significant is Biden's visit to President Zelensky? What kind of a boost do you believe this will give him?
Let's just look back a little bit at the relationship between Biden and Zelensky. I mean, prior to the war, Zelensky had, fought to get an audience with the U.S. president, and he had a visit with him in Washington. The United States was President Zelensky's first foreign visit during wartime, where he went to Washington. He met with the president, and he also addressed Congress. Our viewers might remember bringing that flag to Congress and giving it to, at the time, Speaker Pelosi. But of course, the U.S. President Biden coming here and showing his support in person, as I said, under the threat of an air raid, is yet another show of support for President Zelensky, and will, undoubtedly be a huge boost of morale for the residents of the city and this country as we approach the grim anniversary of this war.
DW's Aya Ibrahim for us in Kyiv, reporting on the unannounced visit of the U.S. President Joe Biden to the Ukrainian capital. Aya, thank you very much for your reporting, and we'll speak to you for more updates on this developing story.